Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mr. Whitty here. I am just recording this video for you to try to explain and welcome you to the course and explain a little bit about the course and what my expectations are around the course. We'll talk a little bit about, where the information you need can be found, and hopefully at the end of this video, you'll have a little bit better understanding of, what it is we're going to be doing here in the ICS course and kind of how you access the different components. So again, just to start, welcome. I'm happy to see you here. As you may have seen from the profile, I have been teaching e-learning for a long time, but I have not been teaching this course. I've never taught this course before on e-learning. I have, however, taught ICS basically for 15 years of my career. I'm well versed in this course. I have taught it for a lot of years, and I'm the course that I got from eLearning Ontario is a little slightly different than what I'm used to. However, hopefully we can kind of move forward and create and do some kind of cool things with it. It does look like some of the content's good. You'll see me add in some of my own content, some of my own assignments throughout the course. Um, but yeah, that's kind of that where we're starting. I teach at South Collegiate Institute in London, Ontario, and it's a great school. I really enjoy teaching there. I've been teaching there for my full career now, 21 years. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the challenge of teaching this course online. I think whenever you get programming online, it becomes a bit of it becomes a bit difficult for a lot of different reasons, logistically speaking. But other than that, I think like I said, there have been other teachers teaching this for a long time now, so I'm sure that they will. I'm sure that I'll be able to kind of get things going for you and hopefully provide you with a good entertaining course that gives you all the information you need for grade 11. So in the grade 11 Java course, in the grade 11 computer science course, we use Java as our programming language. The other thing that you have to be aware of is we use a program called NetBeans. Now, NetBeans has recently changed hands. It used to be an Oracle piece of software. It was originally designed and developed by Oracle. It is now part of Apache. And so Apache has purchased NetBeans as a piece of software, and they are now distributing the NetBeans assignment the NetBeans development environment, sorry. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at, in a future video coming fairly soon, we're going to be looking at how to install the development environment on your home computer. Now, one of the things you may have to be aware of is that it will be very difficult for you to program on a Chromebook. If you're working at home from a Chromebook, you might want to try and find a way to do something a little bit differently, whether that means using your time at the school to do your work for programming so that you have access to some of have access to the development environment, or trying to find a Windows device somewhere where you can utilize that and install the software that you need in order to code. Now, ironically, you don't really need a development environment in order to code in Java, but it'll make your life a lot easier because you'll be able to follow along with what we're asking you to do in the course a lot better. I guess some of the key things from my perspective as far as what things should you be doing. Number one, attendance is key. You cannot complete this course without putting the time in. This course requires a fair bit of work on your part, especially if you're new to programming, or even if you are not new to programming. There's quite a bit of work that needs to get done in the course. It's not undoable by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, if anything, I've kind of reduced the amount of content and or assignments that you need to do, just so that we can kind of get through it. And it is important. I want to get to a certain point in the course, um, and hopefully we'll be able to do that with the time that we have. One of the key things that I want to point out to you is the course runs over a 2-week block. And so what that means is you are you're I teach the course in week 2. So you have to think of the whole year divided up into 2-week blocks, week 1 and week 2, and then it goes back to week 1 and week 2, week 1 and week 2 over and over again. Okay, so you have to think of the entire school year being divided into that. Now I know some of you are from other school boards that don't have this schedule set up, but you're going to have to think of the school year like that from the e-learning perspective. So what I'm doing is I'm posting 1 week's worth of work, but I'm posting it at the beginning of the 2-week block, and then you work through it at your own pace when you have the time to work through it uh, throughout those 2 weeks. So, for example, last week, I posted all of the work that needed to get done by the end of this week. Even though it's 1 week's worth of material, I had to post it over 2 weeks because students have different schedules. Some students will have their e-learning course scheduled during the first week. Other students will have the e-learning course scheduled during the second week. And I have it scheduled during the second week as well. So most of my work on the course is going to be during that second week. I will make sure that the course is ready to go for that first week. So if you have it on the opposite week of me, which is the first week, week 1, not a problem. You will still get the content. You will still get the material. Um, it's just that you'll be working a little bit ahead of me as far as um, the actual scheduled time that I have to actually work on the course. That's not to say that I won't be in the course. One of the things I try to do, and I have to apologize up front. It's been a little bit of a kind of crazy start to the year, and I have not been able to answer questions as quickly as I normally would want to. Um, I generally will answer questions within a 24-hour period. And so, if you have any questions that you need to ask me, please email me through the Brightspace platform, and I will respond to those within a 24-hour period, guaranteed. Sometimes faster than that. It just depends on, again, whether I'm in the week that this course is scheduled. It also depends on what time of day you email me. Um, you know, usually I'll be working on this course in the afternoons during week 2. And so, if you can email me in the morning, chances are I'll be able to get to that email when I open up the course in the afternoon. I do teach other classes, obviously. So you do have to be aware of the fact that I'm not available all the time. I only have this class scheduled for one of my 3 periods that I teach this semester. Um, yeah, and so attendance is going to be key. You do need to show up each and every day on the week that this class is scheduled. You don't need to show up every day for a full 2 weeks. That's not the expectation. But the expectation is that you are putting in a solid week. And I would say that, you're probably looking at about 2.5 hours of time each week on the course at minimum. That's just the coursework. You may have homework on top of that. I would say, probably for the average student, you're looking more like 3 hours a week. Sorry, 3 hours a day for an entire week. So if you can think about 15 hours a week would be probably the best way to think about it. That's generally how I'm going to be assigning assignments. And obviously, there's going to have to be an increased communication back and forth because I know that many of you are going to have questions, especially when we get into the programming unit around how things work. And, maybe if your programs aren't working, you're going to want to get some help. And I am available for that, obviously. But I have to say that a 24-hour period is about the best I can do as far as replying to your questions. You will generally have quite a bit of time to complete the assignments. I won't make them due until the week following when that session is over. So, for instance, I assign everything during week 1. You have both week 1 and week 2 to work through it. Then back into week 1, and then probably the first block of assignments won't be due until about halfway through, early to halfway through Tuesday or Wednesday of the following week 1. So you will have a fair amount of time to complete assignments. If the assignment is a little bit larger, I might give you a little bit more time. The due dates will be posted for each assignment, and hopefully at this point in time you've been able to go into the class and see the calendar. And that's kind of the, I would say that weekly calendar is probably your best bet as far as figuring out what you need to do each week. I do also post daily posts that outline what you should be doing each day, a daily overview, and I will also have posts in the announcement section that will give you other information that you might need. So if there's a common question people are asking, I might make a post about it in the announcements. I'm going to do a video that's going to show you how to install NetBeans and the Java JDK on your computer, and you're going to need to that'll be in the announcement section as well. So you'll have to watch that in the announcement section. So please make sure you're putting in the time that you need to put in. It is a regular course load for this course this year, so you will be doing, like I said, that 15 hours a week is about what you should be aiming for in completing your assignments. Yeah, so I'm going to stop there. I just wanted to kind of welcome you, give you a face to a name so that you know what I look like. And hopefully, within the next coming days, I'll be able to put some more videos up of some of the software installation. And then as we get into Java, obviously, we'll be talking, there'll be a lot more videos as far as teaching Java is concerned. Okay, thank you. I will hopefully see you in the coming weeks.